So today's Last Call podcast is going to be a little different than normal.
Yeah, we have guests.
That
We have
is a very intense camera.
we have guests that are actually important in the music world,
Yeah,
which is
so
nice.
we've got the guys of Lost Kings in studio. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. How you doing?
So you just played last night at Numos. What time did your show end?
Like 12, 15, 12:30.
Can I make a complaint?
Yeah.
Stop ending shows at 12:30 on a Sunday night.
Well,
But actually, for us, those are early shows because usually we don't go on till like 12 because we play a lot of nightclubs. But for this tour run, has been venues, so it's a little nice for us because it's like we're used to the late nights. This is our early night.
Yeah.
In bed by 1.
Yeah.
Feels good.
Did you actually go to bed right after?
Yeah, because this has been the 4th night on this West Coast run, and our bodies are beat up, beat up, because this is a different, like playing nightclubs. You don't have to be. These have been venue tours, so like the focus is on you the whole time,
They're not there
and we're
for
just
anything else.
and we go ham. We really we jumping around the whole time. Like I don't think I've ever had my legs so sore. And we've had to get up at 8:45 in the morning. Like we finished we finished after 12. Every night, and we've had to get up every morning at like 8:30 to go get on a flight, or it's just been like a
it's been an
intense first run to our tour.
An amazing,
Yeah.
amazing 4 days so far. It's been like so crazy, but also I'm beat up.
So when you guys are doing even the club shows, whether you go on even later, how do you schedule your day? Because a lot of people, when we did nights on radio, a lot of people don't realize, you have this kind of cloud over you all day. Like, all right, I can do this, this, and this, but I still have to get to work. I still have to do sound check or whatever.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
So how do you schedule your day? Do you purposely wake up later so you can continue? Do you take naps?
On the road, we take a lot of naps.
Yeah.
Like once we get into town, we usually take a nap, and then we're good to go for the rest of the day. It's like a lot of naps.
Is there like a pre-show meal?
Yeah, we definitely like to have a good meal.
Yeah.
But when we travel, we don't get to see much. It's like because we're
sucks.
coming from a different city and exhausted, and we know we have to be up and playing at midnight.
Yeah.
So it's a nap, a good meal, and then tequila.
Okay, sounds about right. It's like a rent.
And the EP, by the way, is Paper Crowns, and every song on it, honestly, I love.
Awesome.
Every song is really, really good.
Sick.
But how did you end up? Because there's a lot of collaborations, obviously, because you're having these artists come on and sing on the album. How did you get all those collaborations? Is it mainly through or music industry people? Like, is your record label connecting you, or are you just reaching out to people and hey, we're making this song, or what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of it's a hard process, probably the most frustrating process of finishing.
Really?
Yeah, because it's like everybody's on their own agenda, and it has to go through so many people in order for it to work out. Like the artist obviously has to love the song. Their people have to think it's the right move for them to do. They have their own agendas. It's like timing purposes, whether they have other music coming out. It's really a frustrating process. So, but yeah, we usually always have a running list of people that we want to work with, and it's really just about when we have the right song for that person, if they are down to do it. And it's usually we got to go through, it doesn't always happen where the first person on our list wants to cut the song.
It's interesting because I would assume that when you're in our position and you're just watching the music industry, people would assume that releasing an EP or releasing an album is probably the most nerve-wracking thing. But as you're talking about it, sending someone an unfinished song and hoping they like it enough to be on it seems like the biggest, I'm going to ask you out on a date, please say yes type of thing.
Yeah,
you can
exactly.
And in that waiting process,
I can't
it's
imagine.
crazy because you send it and say, for instance, they may have something else going on and they just have to pass, but they love the song, but it may not make it back to you. Then it makes you second guess, wait, is something wrong with the song?
It's literally like dating. It really is.
So it's oh my God. And it's a never-ending process. But for this EP specifically, the features worked out. We pretty much got everybody who we wanted.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
On it.
Yeah, it was an unusual situation.
Yeah.
It took a while. It was a long process, but yeah, I mean, Lauren being on Anti Everything, she was our first choice for that record. And then Wiz, obviously, we've been such fans of him for so long.
That's wild.
And Social House too. I mean, Social House with Magic in the Hamptons, we're big fans of them, and those guys are great. And they performed with us in LA just the other night. Yeah, I mean, and then Lauren Aquilina on the other song, Norma, who sang When We Were Young, she was the original writer with us on that song, and she, we just were like, we don't want anybody else to sing that song. Like, I know she wasn't like a crazy artist, but it's like, yo, we want her voice on the song.
So she was originally with you guys just to write it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And just from that, like from playing people the song and everything, that like she wasn't going to be topped.
Yeah.
Like nobody was going to do a better job than her on that song.
because that's her emotion and everything.
That's the other frustrating part is, you get used to hearing the song one way for so long, and then when somebody else comes and cut it, it could be great, but like on first listen, it doesn't sound great. It's like I literally I want to be like, no, this is garbage. This is not good. But then it literally takes like 3-4 days for me to like listen to it over and over again, and I'm like, all right, it's cool.
Because you have to hear it, I would assume, as a different project, not as the project that you originally started with.
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't that what
I sound really smart. I know nothing about producing
No,
music.
well, you know the story of Sia. She wasn't supposed to be
Sia on Titanium.
Yeah.
With David Guetta. She
It's
wrote that and said, I
same
don't
thing.
want to sing on it. He just released it, basically.
Yeah.
I do remember interviewing her, though, and she was like, yeah, at first I was really mad when I found out he released it that way, but then I bought 2 houses and I was okay with it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
sometimes money fixes things.
I would be pretty happy.
Have you guys met any people that you've worked with now through social media? Because
Oh, technically, yeah, we met, I guess, through social media, through Instagram.
Anthony slid into your DMs, which
Okay, no, technically, they would have slid into my DMs,
'cause you
technically.
posted.
Well, because he mentioned,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
then we have to show love if we get,
Right,
if
so-
the music.
So
gets
all they did was
mentioned.
mention, I think they just put like the praise hands or something.
Yeah.
it
in
worked
it.
though. Look,
Long story
thirst
short,
trap. You trapped them.
no, long
to
story
respond.
short, I posted anti-everything in my Instagram story
Yeah.
because it was like the day it came out or
So
whatever, and
good.
I loved the song. They responded, and I was like, hey, if you guys are ever in Seattle, let me know, and we'll have you come to the station. They're like, well, we're going to be there in 2 weeks. I was like, oh, okay. That worked
And
quickly.
here we are. So is there anyone else that you've met through that world of social media? Because it happens to us, obviously, all the time. This is how we collab. Is there anyone that you found that way?
I mean, we definitely get hit up, but I don't think we haven't really had a.
No, we've done like writing sessions
Yeah.
where we'll hit
Well, that's
people up
cool.
and do stuff. But as far as what's come out, I don't think anything's from social media.
Okay, good. So don't hit them up and have them try to make a song for you. Don't do
But
that.
let's backtrack for a second. Before the EP, before the collaborations and stuff, you guys are both East Coast guys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're also We're both from New Jersey.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm from
Yeah.
Baltimore.
Baltimore
And I'm from
and
Boston.
Boston.
Yeah.
Yep.
Congratulations on your win
Boo.
yesterday.
I'm not a
Oh, you're-
Patriot fan.
No, you're
Good.
Rams fans, right?
Rams
Because I saw
fans,
you
yeah.
guys
Rams,
posting.
Yeah. So we've become friends with a couple of guys on the Rams. Like,
Okay.
He's like, no, I'm a Rams fan. He put his hands
Rams
up.
I don't want to get beat up by my friends.
exactly. Yeah, but we've become friends with them, and so it's awesome to root for them and see them do well. But like Jared has been our friend since he's been in the league.
Cool.
So
That's cool.
to see the growth and everything has been crazy.
Well, then, how did 2 East Coast kids meet up, live in LA? Like, what was the story?
Well, I moved to LA like 8 years ago, same for him. And but we didn't meet until like almost 5 years ago. And I was producing music in LA. And I was just like producing for other artists. I was working at like a recording studio, and one of the guys I became friends with at the studio is like one of the assistants knew Rob and like all these mutual friends we used to hang out with and party in LA. And Rob was like just DJing all the parties in LA that we would go to. And at the time I was like kind of frustrated with making music for other artists and like their agendas. It's kind of like the feature process,
Yeah.
you know,
Okay.
but it's instead of them being on your song, you're just trying to get a song placed with them. And that's a very frustrating process. So I got to a point like when SoundCloud was blowing up and DJs and stuff were blowing up, I was like, yo, I just want to put out, I'm producing a lot of music. I just want to put it out. But I didn't know how to DJ at the time. So we wanted to like, when we were going to link up, we were just going to like teach each other some things.
Cool.
We're going to teach him some production. He was going to teach me DJing. And then we started talking. I met him. It was on his birthday, and we went to at his party, and I started talking to him about what I was doing, the music I was making and stuff. And I was like, yo, we should like link up. And the next day he came over, I played him some stuff, and we started talking about music. And we were just like, yo, why don't we just do it together, man? It'd be
That's
much
cool.
easier to do it as a partnership. And we just started working and haven't stopped since.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys have been in
So-
love ever since.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Well, there is truth to that, though. You
Yeah.
don't have to do all
Yeah.
the heavy lifting on your own.
Yeah.
If you're lacking in one place, the other person can step up. I mean, that's essentially how our morning show
Yeah.
works.
Yes. Well, knowing how it is now and knowing how we've gotten to this point now and trying to imagine going through that process alone is like very, very daunting. I don't know if like I don't know how a lot of the solo guys do
No,
it,
I have-
you know,
It's crazy.
traveling, like, just being like, just even in the creative process, you know, it's like we both bounce off each other really well. And I think that's why it's worked out. And it's kind of crazy because usually it doesn't always work out that way when you try to build a friendship and a business relationship from the beginning. But it has worked out like perfectly. Like we have like no complaints. We get along really well. And we've been in this for almost 5 years now. So it's been great.
Have there ever been any conflicts though where you're like, oh, I really would like to get this person on this specific track, and Rob, you want to get someone else? How do you guys resolve those issues?
There really hasn't.
Okay.
Like, because I think we have very similar tastes in music and ideas for like each song.
I think we're good at compromising too.
Yeah.
I think we both understand like what the end goal is. So we don't really try to get too high or too low. I mean, we definitely have our moments, but yeah, I think we're pretty much on the same page. It's been pretty easy. Like I really can't complain about
That's
how the
awesome.
process
That's
has been
crazy.
so far. It's crazy.
I know when we disagree on anything, like if there's a direction we want to take the show in, it's usually the process that I go through is, okay, how passionate am I against this thing versus how passionate is Carla Marie for this thing?
Yeah.
If I don't care as much and she's really passionate, it's like, all right, let's go
Let's
for it.
do it.
Let's figure it out.
And if it fails, it's your fault.
Yeah.
Or my
yeah,
fault.
and then if it fails, that's on you.
That's on you.
You want to play Ask Reddit?
Okay, yeah. So
Have you guys heard about what we're trying to do here?
No.
So these are just random questions off of Reddit.
Okay.
They can have something to do with music. They can have nothing to do with
Love
music.
it.
Awesome.
We're
Yeah.
just going to go through, and you guys can pick. You can just point who you want to ask the question to. We have a different list of questions, and I haven't read these, by the way.
Who's pointing?
They can point at whoever's going to ask.
They're just gonna. Okay. It's like, should we get up and spin
So
around?
one of you guys, we pick one of you to answer or ask the question.
Ask the question.
Okay.
Ask
Yeah.
the question. Okay.
All right,
Got it.
so Rob, pick first. Who do you want to ask a question?
Anthony,
All right.
you're going.
All right, so I will go with. This is super easy. What phrase do you say too often?
Mine was cool, clearly, in this interview so far. That's all I say.
Okay, dope.
Okay, dope.
I say that a lot too.
I say
At least you know.
I say crazy way too much. Yeah, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
Everyone's got those.
That's crazy.
It's also, you know, when we all do it is when someone's telling you a really crappy story.
Yeah.
Man, that's
That's
Crazy.
Crazy.
But it's not
Crazy.
actually crazy. Or that's so funny. If I'm saying that's so funny, but I'm not laughing.
Yeah. Or that's hilarious, and it's not.
It's not.
You're
It's
not
not.
laughing.
All right, so I guess we'll go. Nick can ask Carla
Okay,
Murray.
or we just go back and forth.
Yeah.
You're okay. Say you're about to have a baby and you're picking out names. What is the one name that is a hard no to name your child?
Oh, I'm not naming my because I'm a third, so I'm not naming my son after me as a
Okay.
fourth.
So you're not gonna have a fourth. You're gonna end the tradition.
I'm ending the tradition with me.
Wow.
Yeah,
You heard it here first. Maybe not first. This is the first place. I don't know.
That's it. That's if I have kids.
My whole
Which
family
I
is
don't know.
Marie's, and I'm like, I don't think I want to continue it. My mom's like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
All right, let's jump in with. Okay, Rob, do you have a pet?
Yeah.
Okay, what was your best moment with your pet?
What?
I can't answer this because I don't have any pets that I've had great moments
What
with.
is your pet, first of all?
Good question for you.
He's a puppy. He's a mini Australian Shepherd.
Ah.
But I'd say probably like this is the first time I had a puppy, so probably just even taking him home.
Okay.
was like an awesome time. He's good, but like a puppy is a lot of work.
Oh, yeah. Does he
Just
go on the road with you?
Pee everywhere?
No. He's so smart. He like legitimately got house trained in a day.
Oh, wow.
So like the accidents have never really been an issue, but he's been like health issues. He's fine, but just like little things. He's just so expensive now.
Oh, yeah.
Carla
Pet
Marie's cat has diarrhea right now.
Yeah, she does.
Oh.
But wait, hold on. I dare bring this topic back. You said you don't have your puppy on the road with you.
I don't.
So last
This
week.
is different. You can't. It's,
No.
it's completely different because he's going to go back home and the puppy will be there.
Okay, last week in our podcast, there were a bunch of us in here, and we got into a full-blown war because Anthony said, so I have a dog, my dog, but he lives with my parents in New Jersey. It was the dog I grew up with, and he's still there. Anthony claims that I can't say that I have a dog
It's
because
not her
I
dog.
don't live there anymore.
It's not her dog because she doesn't take care of it. It's different if you're taking
It's
a trip.
tough. This is what we do. This is what we find
That
out.
is tough. Well, I guess the question is for when you had the dog,
Yeah,
were you the only one who was like taking care of
it
it?
was the family dog. No.
So
He doesn't want to say it, but he wants to say
I
it.
was like,
I would say it's your parents' dog because like
Thank you.
I have like my parents have had a dog, and it's the same thing, and I would consider it like my dad's dog.
It's your family dog at least.
Yeah.
Like you guys all kind of have it.
I don't know. A lot of us disagreed with Anthony, and he got beat by everyone. It was pretty hilarious.
What's your question, Carla Marie?
Okay. Let's see. Oh, number one pet peeve. Actually, both of you can answer this. Of humans overall, the one thing you're like, why are you doing that?
All right, I mean, this is specific for traveling because we obviously travel a shit ton.
You're good.
Yeah. We travel a bunch, but when people stand up when we land, like that is like the biggest. That is one of the biggest pet peeves when we're traveling.
Or when everyone
It's like
just
you're not going anywhere.
Yeah,
Right
you're
away.
not
Just
going
chill.
anywhere.
Or when you're rushing the gate to get on board, it's like, we're
Yeah.
all going to go. We're
Yeah.
all going to get on.
Yeah,
Why are you
exactly.
rushing to sit down for 3
Exactly.
hours?
We have an insane story about that exact
Yeah.
thing.
Let's
Oh
hear
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Let's hear
Well. Yeah.
So we do
This makes me look really bad.
I can't wait.
Oh yeah, maybe. So we do the show in Anguilla for New Year's. It's like a small island in the Caribbean, and we've done it a couple times now. And leaving, you have to go to St. Martin to fly out, and St. Martin's airport is just like a nightmare. Like everybody just crashes to the gate to get onto the plane. It's a mess. And we had already boarded the flight, and our girlfriends were about to board the flight. And they were like standing there, and like this family, it cuts in front of them. Like my girlfriend's like, "Oh, you could have said excuse me, like I would have got out of their way." And the guy like snapped. He's like, "Well, you know, I'm not a millennial. You don't have a family.
What?
I'm here with my family,"
What?
like yelling in her face.
He's
and
like
then
cussing at them. He's like saying, F you, F this.
What?
His kids start chiming in. It's like, F you, F
he has
this.
kids there, like 20-year-old kids, yelling "F you, F you, F you" to our girlfriends. They don't know. They don't know that they have boyfriends.
Yeah,
because
because we're already on the plane because they had board later than us.
Also,
So like,
his kids are millennials.
It's like,
yeah.
Like, what are you
what are
talking
you
about?
doing?
Yeah.
And so one of them like actually like nudges my girlfriend like with her hand.
Yeah.
And so I see his girlfriend sits next to him on the plane. My girlfriend's a little further back, so I don't know what's going on. But
My
I can
girl-
see them talking.
Yeah, my girl gets on the plane amped, like ready, because she is not afraid to say.
No.
We've been multiple occasions where we've been out, and she's not. She's one of those like.
Are they
she'll-
also East Coasters?
Yeah, no, she's from
Okay.
San Diego.
Okay.
But
Mine is.
yeah. But she is not afraid to lash back. So she lashed back a little bit, and she's just amped up on the plane. She's telling me what happened. I'm like, yo, just point the guy out to me. And meanwhile, I'm super amped because I'm also watching because I'm also a Ravens fan too because I'm from Baltimore. So I'm watching the game. I'm watching them about to lose in the playoffs, and I'm like getting amped about that. I'm getting
That's
amped.
not helping at all.
Yeah, I'm getting amped. She's getting me amped, and I'm like, who is this guy that was yelling at you? And I'm like, point this guy out. And so she points him out, and I'm like, yo, there's nothing I can do. I'm like, I'm not going to do anything right now. I just wanted to look at him. And then I didn't know if Rob knew or not. And so Rob didn't get his text from his girl until we landed because they weren't sitting together. And so I text Rob, I'm like, yo, we about to brawl right now? Like, what's going on? Like, let's say something to this guy. And so, so we get off. We have to go through customs in Miami, and we get in. Me and my girl and Tyler get off the plane first, and so we had to wait for them. So I tell them to meet us in line. We're in this really long line,
Customs
and it's just
line,
really it's a straight line before you get to the part where you zigzag. And so Rob comes up, and I'm just like, we start talking about it. Jackie starts talking about it. Amanda starts talking about it, and then. I see the guy in the back of the line, and he's like standing outside the line, and I'm just staring him down, bro. I'm just like, yo, we're just staring him down, and like normally we're not like trying to cause a scene or anything, but I just was like so mad, and we were both so frustrated.
Or disrespecting
Yeah,
your
yeah,
girlfriend.
yeah,
So-
exactly. So I wanted him to know that they weren't alone. I wanted him to look at us and be like, oh man, I really shouldn't have said that. So we're looking at him, and he sees us, and he gets back in line. He like he was outside the line. He gets
Like,
in
kinda like
line.
ducked in
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
bit.
Back in line.
Yeah, so
And for the record, if you can't see them, they're not.
yeah.
These guys aren't small dudes. Like, Nick and Rob aren't small.
So we get to the part where you zigzag, and right before you're about to go to the machine to passport information and all that, you get to a point where you know how you like come up on people. He's facing us.
We're like
facing
this.
us.
Yeah. You're
We're-
right next to
yeah,
him.
we're staring, and so I'm just gonna pre-warn you. This makes me look really bad. I kind of had a moment of momentary lapse,
Okay, but you're
but we're
admitting it.
looking, and he.
So I'm staring
Yeah.
at him because I'm usually not one to get mad, but when my girlfriend was like, "Oh yeah," and he pushed me, I'm like, "Okay,
Oh,
there's
hell
like
no.
a actual issue," and so I'm staring at him. But the problem is that we have to connect to get to LA in like 30 minutes. So like we're like, okay, we want to say something,
Yeah.
but we also don't want anything to happen. So I'm staring at him like, okay, I'm not gonna say anything. And he goes, "Stop staring at me," because he knows he's in the wrong. I go, I'm gonna stare at whoever the F I want to, like as loud as I could, because then he said me at the top. And then
I freaked out. I freaked out.
You just lost it at
I
that point?
lost it. I ran up to him and I said a bunch of stuff to him that I regret at this. But I literally said probably the worst thing in the airport that I could have ever said.
Oh, no.
And I was just like, yo, if you ever talk blah 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 to my girlfriend, I'm gonna end your life. And I just meant to say like I'm gonna beat your
Death threats in the airport, I feel like, are frowned upon.
Yeah. So I'm like, yo, this.
Oh no! In customs line of
Yeah,
all
in the
things.
custom lines. I just had one of those moments.
You were
where
angry. It
I
happens
was
to all of
like,
us.
we had been traveling all day, and I'm like, and we were just like, knew we had to get on another flight from Miami to LA, which is long, and
Oh,
like
God.
there were so many things happening, and I just kind of forgot where I was. I felt really bad about it afterwards, really, really bad. But yeah, so I say what I say, I walk away, and then I hear him and his family. Sheriff!
Oh,
Sheriff!
no.
He's screaming for the sheriff. And then some other guy jumps out of line because in the moment, everybody else is like, who is this random kid running up to this
Screaming,
guy
yeah.
They have
screaming
no
at this
idea what happened.
screaming
Yeah,
at this
they don't
kid?
know
They
the
didn't
story.
know what happened. And so I'm like, I was like, oh man. So I'm standing at the machine. I'm like, I'm like,
I'm not
these
making my
guys.
flight to LA.
Yeah. I'm like,
to jail.
oh man, I'm about to go to some other room right now. Like, and so the guy comes up to me and he's like, yo, man. I'm like, look, man, this guy was talking a lot of stuff to our girlfriends.
So it was
and-
like a TSA
yeah,
agent that came up to you?
TSA
Okay.
agent. And I'm like, look, man, we had a problem with this guy earlier. I didn't mean to say what I said. And he's like, well, look, man, if you just apologize to him, then we'll leave it alone. Well, you can
Okay.
walk away. And so
Oh, that
I
is
was
the
like-
worst thing to
I
have
was
to
like,
do, though.
damn.
Come on.
I was like, damn, I gotta go apologize
Like,
to this
if
guy
you
now?
go say sorry, you won't get in trouble.
But I knew we were in a hurry, so I was like, yo, whatever. I walk over to him like, look, man, my bad, but like you definitely shouldn't be talking like that to girls or whatever. And I'm like, but whatever, I'm sorry. And then he shook my hand and we walked away.
Did
and
he
that was
say?
it.
Did he ever say sorry for?
Yeah,
anything
he said he was sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, because he was shook. I mean, like, I don't want to
He-
say I'm not trying to fight anybody. That's not our
Right,
goal.
but he
you
had
know,
no
but like,
idea.
yeah,
He had
but
no
he had no
idea.
idea,
He
and
had
I
no
think he was
idea.
really shook. You could see it on his face, and then as soon as he started yelling for the
Because
sheriff,
he was like, "We're good people. We're
Yeah.
good." I would never. And it's like, what? You think they just made up that
Right.
story
Yeah.
to get us to fight an old man?
Yeah,
Like, no,
yeah.
you said it.
Yeah.
And you got called out.
Yeah.
Like, and it's probably the first time that you've gotten called out in front of your family because you like run your mouth.
yeah.
So this was this past New Year's?
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
a couple
It's
weeks
crazy.
ago.
Like
Yeah.
his kid, you said they were in like their 20s.
Yeah.
They probably at this point maybe know your music, listen to you guys, and aren't making the connection. And I can't wait.
Well, that was
for
the thing I was that was the thing I was most mortified about because like we really tried to be like, we try to be the best guys that we can be, and in that moment I was like, man, I really hope nobody's like
Put
TMZ.
two and
Ends
two
up on
together.
TMZ or
It's like,
something.
yeah,
Yeah,
like,
like
oh,
because out of context, we
Right.
looked like insane people.
yeah, we looked insane, bro.
But to us, we're like, this is fully rationalized in our minds. But like, if you didn't know what was happening,
Yeah.
oh my God,
I was really embarrassed, man. Afterwards, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe I said that in the airport." I'm like, "Yo, we were lucky to get out of there." I was like, "Yo, man,
It's good though that you did have a TSA agent that like
yeah,
wasn't gonna overdo
yeah,
it. Just said, listen, let's end this.
Yeah.
Apologize. We can all go home.
yeah, exactly."
and we caught our flight.
I think,
Okay,
I think the
good.
two important things to come out of this whole interview is one, go grab their music.
Yes.
Paper Crowns is available anywhere you stream music.
Don't F
stream,
with them in
download.
the airport.
And yeah, and don't mess with their girlfriends.
Yeah,
Or that.
yeah, fair.
Yeah,
Very
exactly.
fair.
But you can follow them on Instagram. It's at We Are Lost Kings. Support these guys because we love them. We're big fans.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
And
you
they're
so
cool
much.
dudes.
Thank you
Thanks
for having us.